Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. All right. Donald Trump. Because that's always a fun read, right? Donald Trump and his lawyers put a motion in front of Judge Engoron asking for a 30-day delay in the judgment on the Trump case. Because once the judgment is officially entered, then Donald Trump and his lawyer teams have 30 days to file an appeal. And during that time, Trump's going to have to put up cash or post a bond to cover the $355 million he owes plus the $100 million in interest that he's ordered to pay the estate. The judge rejected that 30-day, the additional 30 days, saying, "You failed to explain, much less justify, any basis for a stay." And he basically said that the proposed judgment accurately reflects the spirit in the letter of the February 16th decision and order, where a judge found Trump and his two adult sons liable for fraud. So, nice try. once that order goes in, it had not gone in as of today, which is Thursday. But once it goes in, clock starts. You got 30 days, go. The billionaire might be a little bit cash strapped there. Just maybe. So, let's look at the energy around this. Let's look at the energy around Trump and this civil judgment. I'm curious what his financial situation is looking like. Entertainment purposes only. What's going on with Trump and this civil judgment with the rejection of the 30-day notice? Yeah, it's about money. Go figure. And it's about all the monies. Again, the supposition here is that bring it right back up. Trump is not liquid. And for those who don't understand what that means, liquid is the ability to take your assets and liquidate them into cash. So liquid assets would be money you have in your savings account or your checking account, like a CD or a money market account, investments in stocks and things like that. You can make a phone call, sell the stocks. You can call the bank and withdraw the money. That sort of thing. Trump's finances, though, tend to be tied up in properties. So those aren't liquid assets. They can be sold. They're just not, they can't be accessed quickly. Now, normally what you could do is get, equity lines of credit on these buildings or something like that. But here's the thing. Trump has already done that. Here's an analogy that will help. Pretty much everybody here has played Monopoly, right? You can take a property after you buy Boardwalk, for instance, for $400. You can flip it over and mortgage it and get $200 back. And now that property is mortgaged. So he's already done that with all his properties. All his properties he bought, he already flipped them over and took the money, half the money out or more that he put into it to buy more stuff. So he doesn't have a way to quickly get cash. And I do not consider selling gold sneakers for $400 or $500 a pop as a way to get money quick. Now, mind you, he made some money on that, and that money's liquid, but the money he made on it probably would pay for about a day or two's interest on what he owes with all these hundreds of millions of dollars. Trump's got a liquidity issue. He's got to come up with the money for this, and how do you do that? It's not prison, but it's crossed with the Four of Wands. It's almost like, the 30 days starts, and every day you're walking closer and closer to like Judge Engoron and Letitia James here. This is also, the Four of Wands is the wedding card. It's bringing people together and opening day and starting things new. But on the low energy, it's don't let the door hit you where the good Lord splits you. And I think it's kind of like time's running out on Trump and his money. Start saying goodbye to that, to your finances and everything that all the money you've had your entire life is about to go bye-bye. Underneath it all is the decision. And what's interesting is that Lady Justice is blindfolded with her sword. So this is a legal judgment that was put on there. It's also Two of Swords. It's crossroads. It's decision time and things to make. If Trump decides to appeal this, which of course he's going to try, he has to come up with the money to put down on the appeal. And so he's got to come up with hundreds of millions of dollars in equity to either pay off the bond, or I should say to pay off, to basically put in a pool for the state, or he has to get a bond and get some bondholder to pay for all this. And he still has to put 10 or 20% down on that bond. So he still has to come up with tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, for all this. In the past, the Three of Wands. Where did Trump get all his money from? We all know where he got his money from, right? Now, if you're in the right-wing media space, and certainly my reading on Judge McAfee introduced the right-wing media space to this channel, I will go back to Eric and Don Jr. basically going on television saying, we get so much money from Russia, we don't even need money from anybody else. So in the past, Donald is used to getting money coming into him. And most recently, like in the past 10, 15, 20 years, that money's come from overseas investments. Russia, Saudi Arabia, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's what he's used to. Current situation, now he's having a hard time getting that money. And it's kind of a, I don't want to say it's a fire sale, like which property do I put up on collateral? That would be like him accepting that this is going to happen. To him, he's trying to figure out a way that he holds on to everything and gives up nothing. Now, you'll forgive the evil laughter, but you'll, again, if you're of like-minded souls, you'll appreciate this. If Ivanka Jr. and Eric had piggy banks that he could raid to pay this, oh, he'd do it in a second. He would do it in a second. So what this is how do I get my base to pay for it? Because he doesn't have the kids' bank accounts to raid. What he does have is a PAC, the Save America PAC, and he could have foreign people that he could reach out. I've got things of value. Do you want to give me some money? He's scrambling, trying to figure out ways that he can cover this. He's looking for a sugar mama. Now, I doubt Rebecca Mercer is going to come running to his rescue, but he's looking for money to come in. Whether he's looking for an outsource, basically, he's looking for a sugar mommy to come in and bail him out and help him with this. Maybe he gets it, but that's kind of what he's looking for right now. Lesson to be learned is the King of Swords. The truth of the matter is, if you don't have anything of value to offer, you're not going to get anything of value coming back to you. And Trump hasn't really offered anything of value for a while. And if he does have things of value, and I'm looking at you, Mar-a-Lago documents, and you try to sell those, the government's watching and waiting. This, by the way, for those not aware, this is also my Jack Smith card. And the other nuance with this is Trump without money is going to have a really hard time fighting the Jack Smith case. Trump relies on having a vast supply of cash to pay his lawyers, to delay all legal cases against him, to the point where they get dropped or something along those lines. He's not going to outlast the state of New York. He's not going to outlast the state of Georgia. He's not going to outlast the U.S. federal government. The outcome is the Four of Coins. He might very well get the money. this is, this is holding on to the money as tightly as possible. I know that one of the things he wanted to discuss, and that's going to be the next reading here, is he wanted to negotiate with New York, negotiate how things were going to go. So I think actually that's what's happening next. He didn't get the 30-day stay. So now he's going to try and negotiate down what he owes or what has to be liquidated. Now, and I believe that came up on like the Midas touch, or maybe it was Brian Tyrell Cohen and Glenn Kirshner. That sometimes oftentimes in a case like this, the person who's lost the case gets some say in how the money gets liquidated and such. And Trump is apparently asking for that. So let's go ahead and look into that. Does that 4 coins means that he gets money for the appeal? Possibly. It's possible. Or it might be, okay, we didn't get our 30-day delay. Now the next best thing we can try and do is try and talk down the price. Now, again, this is just something Donald Trump's done his entire life. Borrow, default on the borrowing, and then negotiate down the amount that you owe. So this is, for him, this is the logical next step, because this is what he's done his entire life with all his bankruptcies, is negotiate down the debt. So 4 of coins energy here. Donald Trump wants to negotiate with New York over this debt and how things are liquidated, so on and so forth. What's the energy along with that? How is that going to pan out? Oh, does one make a deal with the devil? Who's the devil in this case, though, really is the question. Is New York the devil? I mean, can you imagine if New York played this like Trump would play to his opponents? Like, oh, you wanted a new agreement. Oh, here's a contract for you to sign. But I think this is also more Trump trying to get Judge Engoron and Letitia James to agree to him. We can see who the devil is, but it could be either person. But it's in this case, the devil's going to be the person who's trying to take advantage of the other people, putting them in a bad situation. In this read, the government very well could be the devil. It's like, because they have Trump over a barrel and they know it. They could name their terms and get whatever they wanted because he's going to be desperate. Justice is the cross. Trump wanting to negotiate with them versus the judge's ruling, which is going to be defensible. Underneath it all is the King of Cups. Yeah. The judge, I think, is going to get the final say in this. Or it could very well be that, I don't know who makes the decision on this, negotiating down, but I imagine the judge has a lot of say in this as the finder of facts and such. Because he's also the one that came up with the ruling. So, you could have Letitia James and Judge Engoron here, and Trump's like, I got a deal for you, and the judge gets to make the final decision. In the past, we have the Sun card. This is the truth being exposed on the corruption at Trump.org, all the fraud that Donald Trump has committed in New York, and then the disgorgement ruling that has come as a result of all that fraud. Now we're coming to a crossroads here. Trump has asked for a delay. He didn't get it. The judge is about to put out a 30-day order to which Trump is going to try to appeal. So you got that going on. Trump's trying to talk down the amount that he owes. Is he going to say, well, I promise not to appeal if you cut this down from, $484 million to, $484, that sort of thing. Here we go. Page of Pentacles. He really is going to ask it to be reduced down to about $400 because it's a witch hunt. He's going to want to pay pennies on the dollar. he is not going to give a serious offer. He is going to give a ridiculous offer on this one. Literally, he's going to want it reduced 90% plus. And even then, he wouldn't pay it if he could avoid it. Yeah, if this thing got brought down to 50 million from 500 million, he'd still be griping. I don't think he's really got a lot to offer here, but he's going to talk about money. How's he going to feed his family? Lesson to be learned is the Ten of Cups. It's the endings, the emotional endings here. Right. Okay. I've said multiple times, and I'll say it again here because it bears repeating. Trump's self-worth is connected to his financial worth. This is about to take away all of his financial worth, or a huge chunk of it. I think the courts estimated his net worth was $2 billion. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But when you're talking $500 million, 25% of your net worth, that's a chunk of change. And that's going to really take this man down a peg or five with that one. Outcome is the Five of Cups, disappointment. Yeah, I think he's going to try and negotiate, come up with a great offer, very fair, very strong, powerful offer that, ask anybody, everybody's telling him it's the most fair offer that's ever been offered ever. They're going to say no. They may not say, nice try, Poindexter, but they're going to say no. Oh, God. Dude. I will be curious to see what the counteroffer is. Given his attorneys and the ridiculousness of their defense of him, I can only imagine what they're going to come up with as a counteroffer. It's going to be laughable. Now, it might still be more money than you and I will ever see in our lifetimes, but it's going to be ridiculous. It really will be pennies on the dollar. Okay, what do we got here? So we've asked what the energy is around it. We've asked, so no 30-day delay for you. He's trying to negotiate down the amount. That's not going to work. Will he be able to come up with collateral or a bond or something along those lines so he can appeal this case? Now, here's the silliness of this. His appeal is going to be based on the allegation that there was no victim to the crime, but the law doesn't require that. So he's not going to win on the appeal, and he's going to have to hand over all this money quickly. He's in a no-win situation. He's not used to this. He is absolutely not used to this. He's out of his element as far as that goes. Oh, yes. Is he going to be able to make bond? Is he going to be able to pull up the collateral? He's working on it behind the scenes. He is talking with folks about getting that money. He is absolutely working on that bigly. Sorry for those who get triggered by that phrase, but we're referring to Donald Trump, and we're going to use his adjective. Cross with the Eight of Swords. Oh, that's terrible. For those of you who like the evil laugh. Oh, you like the evil laugh when I stick my tongue out like this too. I just want you to sort of picture for a moment the desperate woman whose child is sick or her husband's in jail and she needs to come up with the bond money, and she goes to the dastardly green pollard villain with the waxed mustache and the stove top hat, asking, "What can I do how can I possibly get money from you? I'm desperate." Oh, well, come right in, you know. Oh, Trump with your treatment of women. He's stuck. So I'll get that vision out of my head. He's stuck. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. This is almost like going to loan sharks type of thing. We'll give you a great interest rate, 50% compounded daily type of thing. Even overseas, they know they've got him in a barrel. They don't have to come to his aid. So because he's desperate for cash, talk about pennies on the dollar, they will negotiate. Oh, you got those Iran war plans still? Yeah, I know you were asking $100 million for that. We're thinking 10 million, that kind of thing. And he'll consider it. He's considering all options right now for his situation of trying to figure out some way to get this appeal out there. He's got serious money issues, and he's got to come up with serious money on this. This is in the past. And this also could be in the past of the money he was offering for trade and stuff, negotiations back there. He's desperate. They know it. They have no intention on giving him, full value for anything that he has. And that was one of the things I was mentioning with Trump's, with like the settlement. Just because the settlement was $350 million, doesn't mean his net worth will go down $350 million. It could go down a lot more than that. Again, let's say, for instance, Trump holds on to a building that's worth $1 billion, okay? And let's say he has $500 million in equity in the building, and he took out a $500 million loan or whatever. So he has equity in half the building, and he needs to sell that building to pay off this basically now let's just call it $450 million. So he should have $50 million left over, right? Only if he sells the building for $1 billion. Now he's going to try. He's stuck. He has to sell it quickly. He gets in negotiations. They're not going to offer him $1 billion for that building. They'll offer him, I don't know, $750 million for it. We're going to get 25% off. And if he can't do anything else, he's going to have to sell it. And then, of that $750 million, $500 goes to pay it off at the bank. He ends up with $250 million in cash, which goes over to pay his bills. He's still, 200 million in the hole, and he's lost his net worth is down $500 billion. He should have $500 billion pay off and have $50 million left over. He should have a net worth of $50 million. But because he lost $250 million in the sale of the place, he has $250 million and he still has $450 million in liability. His net worth is negative $200 million. So there's a $250 million swing there. He's going to lose money hand over fist because there's no reason to pay full market price for his garbage that he's selling. Current situation, King of Pentacles. He is reaching out to call in favors, offer things for sale, anything to raise money. He's going to have a hard time with this. He's been so used to so long having money whenever he wants it. He could, whether he defrauded banks or he had foreign money coming in from laundered money from Russia or whatever, he's always had money coming in. But he's running into the money issues now. He's going to the poorhouse. Five of Pentacles, overarching. He can't come up with the money. All these negotiations, they're lowballing him. He's not going to come up with the money for this. He's going to be tossed out. And he's getting really, really angry. They talk about that health event of his. That health event, Ace of Pentacles, underneath is also about health as well as wealth. Trump's net worth and self-worth are tied together. If his self-worth goes down and that, he's still under a lot of stress and a lot of anger, he could have a major health event because these are two big pushes here. And they're opposite each other with the victim card in the middle. outcome is temperance. He could maybe get a delay. He could potentially negotiate things down. He could eventually get some promissory. I think what the temperance is that he managed to negotiate a bond. It is possible he negotiates a bond out of all this, to buy himself some time. Alternatively, if these two energies light him up, he might go down and have to convalesce. So we'll keep that as a secondary potential reading for temperance, that he has a health issue that, between the stress of money and his anger issues, causes a health issue and causes his health to decline, and he's hospitalized. That could be a reason for a stay, potentially, especially if he's trying to negotiate how the sale might go. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm more inclined to believe that he finds some patsy somewhere to come up with a bond to help him out there. Okay. Will this financial event impact his health negatively? Negatively. Same word, different accent on the different syllable. Will this financial event impact his health in a negative way? It ain't going to make it better, right? No sense in asking if it's going to make it better. Is it going to make it worse? Is he going to actually have a health event? Heart attack, stroke, diarrhea. Can't afford those adult diapers. Six of Swords. Leaving from troubled waters to calmer shores. Well, Melania might leave first, huh? Let's see. Let's just keep this simple. Watching his health and his wealth decline. Trying to fight all the different fights going on here. Page of Pentacles. Messaging with money. The Moon card. If this was just about health, and we got health cards here, right? Pentacles and Two of Pentacles about health and wealth. There could be a message about his health that, he's exhausted type of thing, and he needs to convalesce. That could be one. My thought, though, on this is, because I've seen this somewhere in March or after March, Melania is leaving with the kid. Now, mind you, Baron turns 18 on March 20th or March 21st. So not technically leaving with the kid, but leaving with the kid. Because Trump is doing all these other things he's fighting on. He doesn't have the money to fight her. And she's concerned about the money leaving. And she's got to get her money for herself and her son while she can. Underneath it is the Moon card. When I've done this reading before, I think the Moon card was representing that Trump keeps saying that he's put money aside for Barron, or part of their prenup is that he put some money aside, or he was going to do something financially, and he's never done it. And I think she discovers that he's been lying to her about money for a while, and things that he said he was going to do, or things that he promised, which simply are not true. And at that point, she leaves. And I think when I'm asking about the health issue, I think before the health issue comes, Melania goes. And that might help trigger what's going on with his health on top of that. So, that's kind of a double. He's suffering so many blows financially. Likely his marriage is going, and his health is going to go too. This guy he's in a downward spiral. I know it's easy to hate on the guy, and it's hard not to be gleeful watching the suffering of others who've made you suffer so much. But instead of taking joy, just kind of look at it as like a wow, you know, wow, this guy's life really unraveled really quickly, didn't it? And as a word of warning and caution, like, yeah, I don't think I want to act like he did. I'd hate to end up like this, because when it all comes undone, it's going to come undone fast and publicly. And it's going to be humiliating to him. Oh, and on top of that, of course, you've also got the Stormy Daniel trial coming up, and she's going to be discussing all sorts of things about Donald Trump and his junk and the stuff that he's into. So you got that little extra bit of humiliation for Melania on top of all that. I would be surprised if she's in the United States when that trial happens, and maybe that's worthy of the other read tonight. We'll leave it at there. Anyways, thank you very much for supporting my channel. I do appreciate it. Thank you for your likes and your shares and your comments and everything you do to help feed the algorithm. So my video makes out to a wider audience. And talk about feeding the algorithm. Holy cow. That McAfee video certainly hit the conservative side of YouTube. Hoo-wee! And it had a lot of views. That is my biggest video. I don't know if I would call it viral, but for my normal views, it's a pretty viral video. Including me thinking of hitting the pause button and then going on the computer for a few minutes while I read up on that guy's background. Oh God, what a not good energy with him at all. Anyways, thank you everybody. I really do appreciate all the support I've gotten from you, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.